From just outside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia, where we only have one win in 4, but at least we managed to score.
I feel like that lacked a sense of occasion for the match we just played. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I was listening to you guys pre-pod, and your level of reverence that you guys have for this match does not match mine. But we kind of know that.
But you just have a big old massive chip of goat feet on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Hello.
But it's the 5 Takes podcast, so we're back.
Yeah, we are back. Hello, everybody.
Wait, stop. You got to find a different way of saying that.
Why?
Because we cannot technically claim to be back in any way, shape, or form at this point.
We are. Atlanta United's not.
So I think we need to. I think in the words let me quote the new Bridget Jones movie, Mad About the Boy. We need a rebrand.
Okay, so let's combine our first names like Benifer, and we'll be Glenicat.
No, we don't need to rebrand our intro. I don't need to adjust the club needs to adjust to us.
You need to adjust your attitude, mister.
Start winning for us. We're back like Ted Lasso. Season 4.
Fuck yeah, dude. Season 4. Let's
officially now announced. I think we talked about it a while ago when it was kind of like in the rumor mill, but pretty solid rumor. And now they've officially announced it. And it's coming at another Ted Lasso.
Nothing's more official than than Jason Sudeikis going on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce. Nothing's more official than him announcing it there.
There you go. It's a good thing. I'm happy for it.
I'm super stoked that from the only little tidbit that's been dropped was a lovely little teaser that was also Easter egged into the finale.
Yes.
With the plan of the AFC Richmond
the women's
side.
Team. It must be focused on that. That's great.
I think
it does seem likely, by the way, that is the direction that they're taking. Yeah. Because they had to figure out how they're going to get Ted's character back from America back to England. And it sounded to me in some of the, the different, rumor mills, like you said, is that some of it's going, like at least some of the first part of the season will be shot in Kansas because they want some legitimate photos or or you know what I mean? Footage. And then the rest will be shot back in London in their normal spot. And at Richmond.
It's a good thing.
I don't know. Either way, at a time in our lives where we could all use a little bit
more
joy,
right. I was just about to say the first season came along at a tumultuous, crazy period.
Indeed.
Pandemic just starting. We needed something positive in our lives that came along, and it was a really good thing. I'm happy for it to be back. I believe the full production team, writers, everybody is back. So I think I don't think it'll be a watered down Ted Lasso, like we can see sometimes from shows that take a little break and try to revive and come back. I expect it to be every bit as good. And I hope my expectations are met, unlike some other clubs that I know of.
Yeah,
we're going to get into it.
Just remember, too, that when the pandemic started, it was either Ted Lasso or Tiger King.
Watched both.
That's
both
where we were.
Equally entertaining
in
their own right. Equally compelling.
Yes,
in their own right.
Very much so. Wow.
Yes. No. This was
what a time. 5 years ago.
So moving on. Yes, this was a crappy weekend for footy. If you're a member, if you're a fan of any of our clubs, or this club, obviously, nobody won this weekend.
No,
I know at least my.
We should introduce this in case people don't know. Glenn, Chelsea, unfortunately, cats with Liverpool.
That's right.
She's going to win another trophy. Good for you.
We will win a trophy. We didn't win 4 of them, but we did win. We probably will win one.
And Jennifer is with a club that's highly allergic, like EpiPen level allergic to trophies, with Spurs.
I hate you, Glenn.
They're not just that. They're like a magnet for injuries.
Also that.
So we're a magnet for injuries. We can't keep a manager. Mm-hmm. I don't know that our last trophy was in 1936 or
right.
something.
So you repel managers the way I intentionally repel men.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yes, and the second we get a good one in here, we run him off.
Yeah,
not like
Big Ange hanging on by his fingernails.
But you know what? And I'm going to go with the Men in Blazers take on this. We won the one that mattered.
Okay.
But and I also do want to do the little side shout out to Fulham South, even though Sessignon did us in this weekend.
Yes.
But yeah, we had a lovely little comment, and somebody from Fulham South is listening to us and enjoys.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. We appreciate.
Hey, I love Fulham fans, arguably better than Chelsea fans. To be perfectly honest,
well, they're way less pretentious than Chelsea fans.
I'm not denying anything. We've got problems.
Some of the most egregious things I've ever seen happen, as far as like a dude with a shitty fucking attitude, was Eden Hazard. So yeah,
he's kind of my guy, but okay.
Not anymore.
Why? What happened?
Not yours.
Oh.
Hey, you're talking. Don't forget, you're talking to a Red who Luis Suarez used to play for Liverpool. I will say this. I wasn't able to observe Liverpool as a team when he was still around. I don't want to say I wasn't a fan, because I've always been one.
Sure.
But it was a matter of being actually able to follow the team as closely as I am now, because of thanks to streaming and all of that.
Right. Yeah. It's made the game more accessible.
Yes. Luis Suarez was a Liverpool.
That was kind of the thing that saved me through a lot of the second half of that match. Was singing a little South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut ditty, only substituting Luis Suarez to Kyle's mom.
Oh my gosh,
it worked so well.
I found myself doing it as soon as you sent that to me. I found myself doing it in my head, and I was like, "Yeah, that works."
Look, this match. If you're not watching the video version, Jennifer's got a shot cup hat on, and she's singing and clapping and dancing.
It's St. Patty's Day. Someone's got to have some fun.
Yeah, true. The match was entertaining yesterday. You had the usual, like we were saying before we hit the record button tonight, this is a marquee matchup for MLS in general. You want to watch these matches 'cause it's two pretty good teams playing against each other, and it was entertaining for a neutral, but man, the thing I just cannot stand about Miami is just the amount of complaining over everything. It's like, y'all are capable of committing a foul. It does happen. Sometimes a foul's a foul. And they just were so incredulous over every time the whistle blew, which wasn't as often as it blew against us, by the way. Drew Fisher was a little slanted on this one. He was. But it just got so old.
The final sheet was 6 fouls to them and 15 for us.
Yeah.
Every time. Luis Suarez, you would think you killed his dog. Just every time. My gosh.
There's some irony in this that I just feel like I need to point out here. Number one, Drew Fisher was MLS Referee of the Year last year.
I generally don't have a problem with him.
He did a really good job reffing last year.
I think so most of the time. He doesn't really come up in the comments for me, but he did yesterday, unfortunately.
And I don't know what the exact stats are. And it certainly didn't reflect last night, but up until last night, Miami had been one of the more regularly penalized teams on an ongoing basis. They've had
some red cards, for sure.
2 or 3 red cards already this year, which, you know what? Let me tell you, there's a reason Avalos didn't play last night. Because I think if that man had set foot on that pitch, he would have been off that pitch faster than you could have said boo with as heated as that match was. And I think... Probably. Look, if you want to take some positive from all of this, I think number one, you can have a real discussion as to whether or not this incarnation of Inter Miami is an actual rival of ours. I kind of think I'm starting to put them in a rivalry pantheon.
Oh, I definitely am.
It's
a good thing. It's very organic. It's natural. There's reasons you can point to. This is not manufactured at all. There's stuff
I don't
brewing.
Just hate them because they've broken every MLS spending rule somehow.
No, it's the in-match stuff. It's
yes,
yeah, and they have reasons as well. Look, we knocked them out. You betcha there's a little extra on that. Messi doesn't risk not playing against Brazil, like one of the biggest international matchups for nothing. And
now he's not going to play in that match. Correct. He actually prioritized our match.
He did
over that.
That's not nothing. This is It's real. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for the league. It's a good product to watch. I think that's a fair, positive thing to take away from this.
Yeah, and I think in some respects, we've talked about kind of how we've lost mojo, whatever. Being an actual like non-manufactured rival, because you're not going to be able to manufacture dick between Miami and LAFC as much as the league would want to. Right. It still puts us kind of back on the map as a big club. Are we doing the things that big clubs are supposed to do right now? That's up for debate.
Why though? Explain that. Why does it put us on the map as a big club?
I think put it in Big Six Prem perspective, right? You've got your Big Six clubs in the Prem. It kind of doesn't matter how much Tottenham sucks.
They're always a big
still going to get, a bunch of marquee matchups. They're going to get the prime time.
Yeah.
Sunday fixtures. They're going to get
people
a lot of visibility.
Are compelled to watch it. It's
People
compelling.
are compelled to watch Tottenham implode for whatever death wish they all have inside their hearts.
Well, I mean, largely, but let's be honest, though, largely the reason why the Big Six are the Big Six is because they have the six largest purses of anybody in the league to spend.
Who's got a larger purse right now than Uncle Arthur? Based on what was spent in the offseason.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying it's not just because it's compelling television. I'm just saying let's look at the facts.
Sure.
So if Atlanta United is a Big Six in the Eastern Conference because we spend a lot of money, then
Big Six in the league. Your Big Six in the league are the two LA teams.
Sure.
Okay.
NYCFC.
Okay.
Seattle.
Okay.
Us and Miami. Those are your Big Six.
Not Portland.
Yeah.
Put Portland in there.
I don't know. The good teams, but I just don't think on the.
I would put Portland and SKC and maybe Chicago in like the tier, like the Newcastle, Aston Villa kind of tier where
I see what you're saying.
They're not bad quality sides. They certainly have really engaged outgoing
Chicago is an interesting case study in what you're talking about because they're historically been bad. It seems like Greg has got them going. So that's interesting. But they have spent some money. They have brought in some bigger names, your Schweinsteigers, your Power Cubes of the world.
Shaqiri.
But they're also just haven't been good. So it does take a little bit more.
And that doesn't mean that their market either is going to embrace them. In Portland, the Timbers get embraced because there's nothing else to do in Portland.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. And SKC for a long time was really the only gig in town there too.
Right.
But so it's like, I want to give some benefit and some snaps to, the fan bases that kind of, that were and that's kind of where like I'm acquainted, but SKC doesn't have the money. They're not going to spend that kind of money. Portland's never going to spend that. They just don't have the purse.
Okay. So,
so you can look at us in the same way that you can look at a city, or you can look at, city really should be on that Big Six list too. But that's one of the reasons why NYCFC is there, is because City has ungodly amounts of money. And if they ever decided they wanted to spend it, they would absolutely spend it.
I agree. I completely agree. Like if we had to pick three, if it was 3 and 3, I completely agree with both LA's and Portland on the Western Conference.
Seattle.
I agree with that.
Seattle.
What did I say?
Portland.
Oh, Seattle. Yes, Seattle. I completely agree with those three.
I would too.
Eastern, I would definitely say NYC FC, Miami, but only because
of Messi. And ownership, Beckham. Once Messi's gone, they're going to continue to pursue big names.
The four, because they're throwing as much money because before that, they weren't throwing any money at it.
Well, this was the plan to get there. And once these guys are gone, they're going to continue on that. It's not like they're just going to not sign any other big names. Beckham's going to stay there. Like, that will continue to be a destination club because they will spend, and it's the location. Or Miami. People want to live there.
if we're only going off of money, then I guess we have to put us in there because I don't know anybody else.
I don't think it's just money. I think it's a couple of things. I think it's money.
I know, but hold on. But listen to that's what I was saying. If we're going based on how much we spend, then we have to put us in there because we are continuing to do that. Mm-hmm. We have continued to demonstrate that if we need to spend money, we will spend money if it's available. You know, like if we have a DP spot available, we will spend what is necessary to get a player that we think is necessary. But it can't just come down to money, and that's where I was going to let you go with that. I don't think 1 cup, well, 2 technically,
3 technically, 3.
It's true.
Technically,
yeah,
it's 3.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying I don't know if we've proven ourselves to be the rival. Here's what I'm saying. I don't know if I agree that we were the game of the week because it was Atlanta versus Miami. I think anybody that plays Miami right now is the game of the week because that's what they're promoting. That's what Apple wants. That's what
for sure
Miami wants. That's what Messi Co.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest. Messi is a brand and they are selling Messi.
For sure.
Anybody that plays against Messi, whenever he is on the field, that is what they're selling.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who he's playing.
Well,
it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter at all.
It matters in that some matchups are better than others. This matchup is better than Miami versus SKC.
Why was it better?
It's more compelling because we're a better side.
Because we didn't let them score 4 goals?
Because it was a more balanced, entertaining match. Yeah, because it was more open and end-to-end, chances on both sides. Yeah, it's a better quality match to watch.
Yeah.
But you're right in that, of course, anytime Messi's on, and rightly so, Miami's kind of the match of the week. That'll change when he leaves, probably.
Yeah. I'm just not. I have not been, and I don't think I will ever be in the I'm glad Messi's here bandwagon.
That's fine.
I don't hate that the guy is here, and I don't completely discount the Messi effect as you've been calling it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be.
Yeah, you don't see as much value in it as maybe the league does. I mean, the numbers are up, but it's subjective. That's fine. That's fine.
Sure. But if you look at the first 3 Sunday game of the week matches where they're featuring Messi, and he's not going to be every Sunday match, I don't think, but like the first 3, kick off the season was NYCFC, right? And then the Houston Dynamo. I just looked this up, and I looked this up. I don't, I'm not a Messi stan. But then it was Houston Dynamo, right? And then it was Charlotte. Like, are those really, if you were...
Well, the Charlotte game was supposed to be because they went out and spent all their money on Wilfred Zaha. So, yeah.
But you follow MLS, right? Like, if you don't know a whole heck of a lot about soccer, those aren't exactly... Like, and NYCFC maybe a little bit more so, but like they're not necessarily the compelling broadcast draw.
Right.
That's all. That's my whole point.
Yeah, Atlanta is known.
So I guess that's kind of the problem that I have with it. Okay, is that, and I was telling my neighbor about this afternoon, and you guys know how I feel about this. I understand that there are probably 8 other leagues on this planet that are above us when it comes to skill and talent and amount of money spent and all of those other things. I know that.
We're closing the gap.
I'm not naive to that.
I have a counterpoint to that.
We're closing the gap.
But what we have, what MLS is ours. And there's something about it that's a little bit sacred. And I have never liked the idea of being the retirement league. I've never liked the idea of being the league where people can come over here and they will just, and to quote Moneyball, squeeze the last bit of soccer out of what they have left simply because they want to stay in the show and they want to get whatever money that they can and have left. And I feel like it turns MLS into a novelty. It turns it into a little bit of a joke. When we won the cup in 2018, we didn't have a star on our squad. We had the stars that we had. Well, hold on. Don't look at me like that. What I mean is that we didn't have a Beckham. We didn't have
a marquee, household name.
We didn't have the retirement player. We had a bunch of young kids. I mean, other than Guzan, nobody was older than like 25. It was Guzan and Parkhurst. We didn't have anybody that was older than 25.
Jeff.
Garza.
But but what I mean though is that those are not those marquee players. We didn't go out and buy a championship. Like what they're trying to do.
We had the right veteran role players for the job.
Sure, but my point remains is that we didn't go out to try and buy a championship.
I get where you're coming from, where you say that feels cheap and sellouty and it denigrates the league.
And it does. I feel like it denigrates all of the other players who are. Because let's look at it. You've got the people that you've got on Miami. Nobody else should be able to compete. I get that some teams are, and I get teams like us make a game of it. But I mean, shit. You're not making it.
If you look at their
very much
fun, here's the thing, Kat.
You're not giving anybody else a fucking chance. If you look you're just stacking a team to blow all the other teams away and make a buck.
But it didn't happen like that. And it hasn't happened. Did they win?
But that is what they're doing. That's what they're trying to do.
Did they win?
I don't care if they won or not.
Well, that's the point of stacking the team.
It's the principle.
Proof of
concept. The principle is that's what they're trying to do.
Did it work?
They're trying to stack.
Did it work?
It's not funny. You can say it as many times as you want, but it's not funny.
No, it's not about
being
funny.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to make a mockery of it, and it's not fun.
I hear that
for anybody that isn't a fan of Miami.
I hear that point of view, but they've done it without Messi too.
I agree, because they have those other three as well.
And a host of young players who scored the.
Stacking a team.
Do you know the name of the player who? Do you know the name of the player who scored the most goals for Miami? It's none of the big four.
Wasn't it Kramaski?
No, it's not Kramaski. It starts with an A.
This is my point.
Yeah.
Is that they're getting production from other players. Yes, they have used the Fab Four, as it were, to draw talent and attention and all those things. But they're not winning exclusively because of those four.
I know. I'm saying it based on principle. It feels cheap, and it feels like they're making a mockery of it, and it feels like they're making MLS a bit of a joke.
Well, I just want to also.
We'll give you
the other thing I want to point out here is I want to point out two things as a counterpart to this.
Go ahead.
Number one, I think what we're at least attempting to do, whether or not it's going to actually work, remains to be seen. But what we're attempting to do is to kind of roll the clock back on that, because that's what we have. Quality players who could play in better leagues signed here on long-term contracts in their prime or in their early, what do you consider 31, 32, not prime? It's pretty darn close. Okay. Yeah. So we kind of rolled that whole model back over. We're still spending the same kind of money. Right. In theory. I mean, there's obviously only one Messi. There's only one person who, one way to bring that over here. I think it's the LAFC in trying to do that. They're certainly not having the same level of success coming from the hottest man ever to walk the face of the planet out there.
It's true.
The best player. Yeah, whatever. So the model does. The point being is the model doesn't always work. And the other thing I do want to point out is every time you watch Messi on Sunday Night Soccer or whatever, you see stadiums full of pink. You see stadiums full of blue and white stripes. Every time he touches the ball, the place goes mad. Guess what didn't happen last night?
What?
There was and I mean, considering the last several matches that he's come in here, I want to say it might have been 80-20 pink shirts in the building versus Atlanta United gear.
There's a fairly significant rumor, though, that he wasn't playing, right? Because again,
there was one spreading around that he wasn't going to play.
That he wasn't even going to travel, right?
My favorite of that was on the Reddit, where anytime somebody came into our sub and asked if Messi was going to play, there was someone who linked a link that looked like it was to the press conference where Miami's head coach said he was going to play. He wasn't going to play on turf at all this season. Yeah, but he actually rickrolled people.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
It was the best thing ever.
No, that's good.
Whoever you are that did that, if you're listening to this, bravo.
No, it's
bravo.
Good. Yeah. No,
but I mean, it didn't look it didn't look like he would because of the international break, because of the match against Brazil.
Right.
I'm actually fairly surprised it was. I'm certainly surprised that he prioritized playing us. And for his troubles, he got booed every time he touched the ball pretty much until the 60th minute.
That's
interesting. And you could hear it on TV. Yeah. There is no other stadium in this league where he's going to walk in there and have that happen.
And for that, I will say that, yes, I think maybe we are creating a genuine rivalry. I don't think it's a rivalry for rivalry's sake, for sure. I do think that there are genuine grievances now between the two clubs. Joseph going there, after he left here too, that didn't sit well with a lot of people. Gressel still being there.
Gressel is he's looking for a home. He doesn't. He's not in their plans, and I hope he lands somewhere, man. He's going to be a journeyman now. He's bouncing around.
He's a good player.
Great player.
And it's unfortunate that
tragic
that he hasn't really found a home.
Yep. Not yet. Anyhow, I don't. Think
so I do think we have some genuine reasons to have some back and forth with that club. I don't think it's just because it's Messi, just because it's good Sunday night football. No. That's the part that I wanted to get across, is that if it's good footy, then great. I would want it to be just because it's Miami.
I would challenge you to pick a match across any fixture that was played in the world this weekend. Mm-hmm. And find a more entertaining match to watch than the one we got to see Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only one on Sunday night.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, across the weekend, all the Prem fixtures, all the Bundesliga fixtures, pick a league that you like to follow, whatever was going on.
Right. And
I don't think from a quality standpoint.
Right. I don't disagree.
Match play quality between an MLS match against two big clubs.
Yes.
And anything else you could have watched in a global first division.
Right.
fixture.
And I hear you. All I'm saying is that I don't want it to be the most watched game of the week simply because Messi is on. I want it to be the most watched game and be the best game because it was good footy. Do you follow what I'm saying? I'm talking about getting into the core of the fact that it was a good match, not just because Messi was on the field.
I agree. It was a good match. It would have been a good match to watch even if Messi hadn't played.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Glenn, you had a point.
I think it was better quality and entertainment match than the previous matches Miami have played against their opponents. And that's kind of my thing.
Might have even been a little bit better than some of the previous matches we played.
Maybe. From an entertainment standpoint. Totally hear you on this feeling like your thing. This will be the last thing I say on it, and we can move on to takes. This is our thing. It's kind of us, and it feels like sellout-y-ish. I totally feel that. It does harken back to my punk rock youth, when I took a lot of flack for loving Blink-182 when they sold out. I don't think it's selling out trying to get your product out to a wider market. Blink-182 didn't sell out. They wanted more people to hear their shit. So you signed with a bigger label.
And to quote SLC Punk, which is not a bad
and movie. SLC Punk. Let's go.
He didn't sell out. He bought in.
Correct. Okay. So that's kind of how I see the whole the Miami thing and their strategy and what they're doing. And I don't think the league is markedly worse than what it was prior to that.
No, but
Nor do I think it's monumentally better?
Right.
For the investment? I don't know, but it's not worse. I think it's probably gotten better, but I think it's gotten better for a lot of reasons, not just for that.
Because Glenn, I could to a degree argue that it did get a little bit worse because it perpetuated that fucking stereotype of us being a retirement league, because that's what he came here to do, and that's what the rest of them did.
But that's your point of view. We cannot objectively say that the world, and then that is the view. That is the majority view.
That's my view, and I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is,
it did make it worse.
And that's fine. That's your view. I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is, hang on, y'all went for like 10 minutes, and I just sat here. Can I get a word in?
No, you interrupted me 3 times. Did it work? Did it work?
And then after that, I've been watching the timeline. It's been 10 minutes. Trust me. What I'm saying is, your point of view is valid. It's fine. But what we can't say is that's like truth, fact. This is how the MLS is viewed.
Of course.
Everybody has their own views. There isn't one view or even 10 views, 100 views, 1,000 views that says this is what it is.
Sure.
It's just not the case. I don't think in terms of viewership, the numbers have dropped off. They've gotten better. Is that exclusively Messi? No, but he had an impact for sure. And anything that has an impact, insert player's name here, insert new teams starting up here, whatever it is a net positive. And it cost us nothing. The league isn't worse. I don't think...
integrity?
Well, yeah, if you look at all the other talent...
If you have a problem with integrity, you need to look at the Saudi League. Because the Saudi
I don't disagree with that at all.
The Saudi League
that's exactly what my neighbor said. He said it's better than them going to the Saudi League. And he said if it was solely 100% about money, then he would have gone to the Saudi League. And I said, you know what? You're right. That is true. I said, because that's what I said. I said, the only reason he's here is because they're paying him. And he said, no, he's not just that, because if he wanted money, he would have just gone straight to the Saudi League and
we're going to pay him a lot more.
No ifs, ands, or buts. He would have gotten more. But it's because he wanted to play with his buddies, and it's Miami. No one wants, who arguably really wants to go play in
Nobody wants
Saudi
to live
League.
in a desert.
Nobody really wants to go over there.
Yeah.
So here, he's a big fucking fish. He'd be the same big fish there. He'd be the biggest.
Yeah.
Right? But there is an untapped market here, I think, is what they're looking at. So if you still want to break it down to money, then yes, he has done amazing things for all of the investors' wallets. I don't disagree with that. And his own.
Investor wallets that invest in the league, that grow the league.
But,
Were we having a huge problem with that before
It's not a
Messi?
problem, but you grow from investment. You just do. And there's more investment, and there's more growth.
Certainly, I think the thing you can take away from it is that it accelerated.
I think so.
You probably pushed league development ahead by 5 to 7 years in the 2 years that Messi has
It puts a
been
little
here.
gas on it. I think we're trending in the right direction, and we were before Messi. I'm very happy with the progress of this league. I think it's come a long way.
Maybe what I was thinking was like, you had something like, because I think, and Atlanta is a part of that, know, the fact that we came in and had such amazing success.
I agree.
And Atlanta really, Atlanta United put soccer on the map in the South in a way that Orlando certainly had not,
I would agree.
And Charlotte still kind of hasn't,
I would agree.
And to my own point earlier, when we were talking about what would be the big three of this side, we are the largest club with the largest following definitely in the Southeast.
I think there was more of a before and after moment, if you want to put it that way, with Atlanta United coming into the league than there was when Messi came in the league. I don't see this as before Messi and after Messi. I don't. I still see it as a positive, but I was never expecting, and maybe some people were, that, oh, wow, the league is like very, very different after Messi. I thought it would be better, and I think it is better.
Yeah. Based on what even what you were saying was the Beckham / Messi effect, I was expecting that. I was expecting it.
And there for sure was with Beckham. I don't think there has been with Messi. And we've also Beckham ushered in a whole new rule structure and things.
Well, yeah.
Messi's ushered in some things. It's just not as clear a line of before and after for me.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this, and this will be the last thing, I think. And then we really do have to get on.
Everybody's bored already.
I know. There is still time for us to really see what the full Messi effect will be.
For sure.
I don't know if I'm ever going to fully change my opinion until he is no longer on the field. But as far as what the true butterfly effect, so to speak, will be from him, obviously remains to be seen.
It'll be interesting to diagnose 5 years from now.
And maybe we'll still argue about it.
There's a reason we have a podcast. It's so we can talk about all this stuff. And also...
it'd be immortalized on film.
Here comes the segue. Jennifer's been patiently waiting.
Well, now I just lost it, so thanks, Gwen. Just go ahead and thank Mason Mill. I don't really have any good way of mashing that up together.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
Get to takes before everybody
no problem. I got this.
So.
Thank you, Mason Mill. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting us and for looking out for our health and everybody else's health. If y'all don't know by now, which My God, you should by this point, I would think. They are a chiropractor in town. They've been riding with us for a very long time, and they are the best chiropractor in town. So say us. Give them a call at 404-321-0082. Find them on the web, masonvillechiro.com. You can schedule your appointment with Dr. Cohen and Dr. Miner. They're open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Saturday hours are particularly clutch. I keep procrastinating on my appointment.
Me too.
Things keep popping up, work and other things wise. I'm working currently like 3 different gigs simultaneously because times are crazy right now.
Have to do.
But I will get in there, and you should get in there too. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't put it off. Go in there regularly. Take care of yourself. Get in there once, twice a month. It's really, really good for you. And they do accept most major insurances. If you're fortunate enough to have health insurance, they'll work with you on that. And they're also very good about working with you if you have a crazy schedule like we all do, getting you in at the last moment or needing to change an appointment. Very easy to work with. They are great, great people. And pick yourself up some stickers. They don't have any more shirts. Still have a couple left here. If you want one, you can hit us up. We did ship one out a couple days ago to somebody on Instagram who asked for one. So that was cool. Don't mind doing it. We still got a few left. I'm going to hang on to a couple of the shirts for the winners of the MLS 2025 table prediction contest. Those picks are now locked. You do not want to know where I have Atlanta United falling, but I do have San Jose winning the West and Vancouver at 2, and I have LAFC missing the playoffs. You heard it here first. It's gonna happen. Yep.
Who missing?
LAFC missing the playoffs. Missing the playoffs. Wow. No play in, missing it altogether. I have no chance of winning this thing.
Don't suppose you put the fucking Union up there.
I put them decently high. Yeah, they're doing the business, unlike us. All right, number 1 here. So apparently the missing piece this whole time has been Brooks. He looked 100% up for it. The assist,
back, Brooks,
hey man,
Leonard.
I'm happy to have him back. The assist was great and typical of Brooks when he was at his best, but he didn't look hurt at all. He wasn't hesitant, and after a serious injury, it can kind of make you go a little, do I want to go into this challenge? Nah, he looked fit. He looked up for it. Truth be told, I wish we had gotten the ball to him a little bit more than we did. A few more crosses into the box would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. He had it was in the second half when Jande got subbed on, and I don't remember. Was it a free kick? It was either a free kick or was it? No, it was a free kick. It was a good free kick, and it was a corner, and he hit Jande on a dime, and Jande had a bicycle attempt that went off the post.
Yes, he did. That was good.
That was
really good.
Just location-wise, the most glorious thing. And, if you rewatch the replay of the Latte Lot goal, again, this is the Brooks we were missing all last season. And I will chalk it up. Give me another match, but I would absolutely chalk it up to the target that he was trying to get the service to weren't necessarily the prime target.
That's right.
Possibility.
We've heard that before. We've dealt with that before too. It's frustrating.
Well, again, I'm really hopeful that he can develop some, because there is a decided lack of chemistry on the
chemistry.
Very big problem.
Santa United thinks that we should buy a house up in Marietta near the training ground. Have the whole squad live there, Big Brother style, till we get some chemistry going. Cinema. I would watch it. That would make for a great Rooted in the Stripes episode.
I would absolutely watch something like that.
I would watch Muyamba and Jande cook. Literally. I think it would be great. We need it.
God, can you imagine the fabulous, North African, Middle Eastern, the jollof rice they'd come? Oh,
but we need it, man. Okay. We need it. It's evident we don't have it right now. Yeah. Expect a bit more of it. Maybe not the finished product, the completed meal, but at least an appetizer.
I would have expected us to be a little bit further along than we are right now.
And it's concerning. It's really concerning for me, at least.
I would say that the lack of cohesion and the lack of chemistry is our biggest problem.
8-9 weeks in, 4 matches, and we don't got it yet.
No,
Miggy's running into spaces and nobody sees him.
Yeah, a couple of times, hands in the air. Hey, over here.
Saba
I saw
and
him
Latte literally running into each other.
Yeah, still players occupying the same space. That's not good.
We just feel a little still.
Yep.
It still feels preseason, like
it very much feels like preseason, doesn't it?
And you know what? We're 4 games in, just 4. Precious 4. But the fabric of belief in this club is so thin and so fragile right now because of the expectations
and the history
were put on. Yes, that was put on this team in the offseason. It's so delicate. And if they don't change something very, very, very soon,
the belief
all
goes
of
out.
those butts that went back in the seats that I was talking about, they're going to start leaving again.
The belief goes out. You can say, and we have seen this in the past with many iterations of this club, playing good football. Chances are there. It's coming. And it doesn't. At some point, you just lose faith in the process, in the system, in the manager, in each other. If it's not coming, you start questioning, is this good? Are we playing good footy? Is this the way? Because it's not happening. And it can be really unfortunate. I think had some unfortunate stuff happen last night off the post, poor calls, ball doesn't bounce our way, sloppy second goal for Miami, kind of a brutal way to go.
It was more like a sloppy first goal. But the second one was actually fairly legit.
It passes the eye test objectively as a player. I think no, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is good, the things we're doing, and yet it's not happening. And that can creep up quicker than we think. Cincy this coming weekend. Again, international call-ups.
I do want to interject something here just in terms of maybe having a rebrand of our vibes expectations.
Okay.
I don't want to.
I'm leaning into the whole rebrand. I know you don't want to. Okay, but as your therapist, Glenn, the one this is how we kind of have to keep our optimism.
Trust and believe. You do not want to be my therapist. She's very patient.
Yeah, I'm not. I have a lot more patience for soccer than I do with just about anything else, which is surprising considering I have no patience for anything else in my life. Anyway,
fair.
I digress. Point being, I think the reframe needs to be here that we need to be going for more of a 2017 vibe as opposed to a 2018 vibe. And unfortunately, the expectation that everybody has is it has to be like 2018.
Well,
but you have to build from somewhere.
But
we were here. We have to give time. You have to have some time. And to come out of the gate with this schedule based on last year's finishes.
What schedule?
I mean, what schedule? We're going to go play the MLS Cup finalists, the Eastern Conference champions.
Yeah, we've had their number before. We've won 5 of the last 6.
Against Red Bull?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Miami. I thought you were talking about Miami.
Against Red, I was gonna. Oh, and let me. So we're gonna play Red Bull.
Okay.
We're gonna play a vastly improved Carolina team that we knew was a lot improved. Okay. You're gonna play Montreal, which is the match that we won.
Okay.
As we should have, and you were gonna go up against Miami, who was going to be out for blood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's be real. They were going to get up for that match. Whether or not everybody started it, they were going to be up for that match. And Miami is better this year than they were last year.
All true things. And
so, and then you're going to go play Cincinnati, who is also improved, where you're going to be missing half your squad, including all but one of our center backs for international duty.
And
it happens to us every year. We go to Ohio with no team, and whatever happens.
Okay.
At what point does another team think this about
Glenn.
us?
When do we start being critical? If not now?
At what point does a team think about us? At what point are we the challenge? These are all great excuses. They're wonderful. They're valid. They're justifications, and we can find justification for dropping points for literally every single match this season.
I mean, this is true. So my justification means I'm going to start getting mad in the middle of April.
I'm already pissed.
No. We have the match after Cincy, which I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with that. Because it's just, I don't know. Cincy's missing a lot of people. They're certainly not playing up to expectations either. We're missing everybody and like our entire back line.
Yeah.
Whatever is going to happen is going to happen with that.
Right.
But after that, we have NYCFC. We have FC Dallas, and we have the Revs. If we're not getting 9 points out of that 3-game stretch, then we got issues.
Okay.
Real significant issues.
Right. So we'll be what is that? 6 or 7 games in. And
I think that's a much fairer sample size to pull from, where you have more of a balanced opponent schedule feel, and it's not, okay, let me, test myself against, who is currently right now the beast in the East.
Right. So let's not even look at it as in terms of points. Let's look at it just flat out in terms of wins and losses. Okay. So if we are 7 games in and we've won 2 games out of 7, we should panic.
Absolutely. Panic away.
Already there.
I'm agreeing. I'm completely agreeing with you.
We should be jumping off the cliff, and there should be serious discussions about whether or not Garth still has a job at
and
that
not
point.
not just one, but I mean 2 games out of 7, but lost the other 5. Not drew, but lost the other 5. Yes. If we are 2 and 5, we should be panicking. And you're right. I think
I'm already off the cliff. I'll meet you all at the bottom.
Front of house needs to change.
I'll meet you at the bottom. All right.
I just, I was reading a bunch of, whatever excuse mongering things you want to think of. And there were, Ronnie Dyla did not get off to the greatest of starts with NYCFC. And granted, his first season there was all sorts of screwy with the pandemic, and they had a long break and a lot of extra training time and things like that. But he really didn't get it going until the equivalent of like 5 months into the season with them. And then he didn't go win the cup until the year after that. And if you look at how we rolled in 2017, we had sputter starts in 2017. We didn't really get it rolling until going toward the end of the season. And then we came in 2018, we lit the world on fire. I'm just saying, there was a lot of hopeful optimism about real contention for this season. I don't think this is the season where we're going to have it all together, because it's just going to take this group more time. Fair. And we can get into whether or not, we can get into take 3 based on that, as to whether or not Alexi is going to be a part of that conversation, because I am certainly leaning toward much further on the probably not side of that fence at this point in time, based on sample size and what I've seen.
Yeah, my hot take is that he's gone this summer. I really believe it. That's a big decision to make. I mean, that's a massive buyout. Like, that's a huge change. I don't know that we've ever just axed a DP straight away like that.
This isn't straight away. This is, I think by summer we will have had enough sample size. Like,
but our club has never done that. Like, within 1 year on a DP, it would be big. It would be a big thing.
We didn't use a buyout yet either, so keep that in mind.
I know the flexibility is there. So. It would be big.
No, if he doesn't vastly improve in his contributions to the overall match, not just his own contributions. Like, I'm not saying he's got to score 10 goals, but he better start scoring a couple, and he better start contributing
more importantly,
more beneficial ways. Yeah.
I just don't think
figure out a way to get out of his offensive players' way and unlock them.
Right.
And Glenn, I think you hit the nail on the head when you say D in designated player does not stand for decent.
And that's what we talked about last week, was that he's a decent enough player. He is not a DP player.
And look, I get accused a lot of shitting on Alexi, and I take no joy in that. I don't want to. I don't think he's a bad player. He's had success elsewhere. It's going to kind of be like a Moreno situation. Good player, wrong system. Just doesn't.
Same thing last week.
Just doesn't. Yeah, and I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
I don't
disagree with you. I don't disagree.
And I don't see how it's going. I don't see how it's going to work. And
what did you say, Jennifer?
I said that was me that said that, not Glenn.
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry.
I've said similar things.
You said similar, yeah.
But it is going to be like that.
It echoed of Glenn, but that's valid.
Yeah.
And it's just not enough.
But also in his individual moments,
it's that it's not enough. Period.
In his individual moments, he's still not good enough. He does a few couple
good
things.
He had a point blank shot that he's had a couple of really good point blank opportunities. He just hasn't gotten enough on the ball.
You know who has been?
Well, then it's not enough, and it's it's God, man. Like, how long are we gonna wait?
You know who has been
What are
enough?
we waiting
You know who
for?
has been enough, more than enough lately? Muyamba.
I'm so thrilled for him.
What a great start he's having, man.
He looks like he
lot
did.
Of doubters, including all three of us,
And
I think,
rightly
at the end
so,
of last
because
season.
it hasn't been there. But he looks like he did, well, when we first signed him. And even...
He looks like he's playing like a man possessed right now.
Even when we first brought him on with Jande and Saba, the Felipe Cardenases of the world were saying, this is the Nagby replacement that Atlanta has been looking for. He looked the part. He was great. And then it went the way of an Araujo and just dropped off. And now we're seeing back-to-back games with him where, I still had a couple of those like turnover Tristan moments. Yeah. That's fine. But I'll tell you what, stat-wise, past 2 games, more touches than Alexi, higher completed passes, more chances, more touches, meaningful, just key passes, those types of things. All of his stats point to better production level. And that's great.
But more importantly, the turnover Tristan moments weren't happening in
correct, where you're just like, oh, dude, not there.
Unlike one Bartosz Slisz, who I will absolutely call to the carpet.
The brutal thing
calling to the front.
Both of the goals,
number 99, motherfucker.
Both of the goals come from us, and they're both embarrassing moments. One, Barto, man, just clear it. You got to. Could Alexi have maybe not made that back pass? I don't really put the blame on him. I'm not going to shit on him for that. I think Barto's got to clear that. And then the second goal, oh, come on, guys. Are we falling for them distracting, like talking to the ref and you're not ready? Or do we have to go through this stay switched on talk again? Really? A set piece? While they're yelling at the ref and distracting everybody? That's how we're going to get undone? Like, that's so embarrassing, man. That's just so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like the free kick that Brad wasn't when Brad was still setting his wall.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys, that's fucking amateur.
It was so
amateur
bad.
Fucking hour. Come on.
Well, all right. Let's move on to. Did we skip over 2? 2's kind of with 1 and not utilizing Brooks as much, not switching the point of attack enough, and then from those switches, not crossing the ball into the box.
Now. I think too, when you looked at, we want to play the game of what worked and what didn't. What's not working right now is our left side.
Yeah. True.
With Saba and Amador.
I think Amador, I'd argue to say that he needs to be a left back instead of a
this whole, I don't know about this whole inverted winger thing that Dyla has us doing. I don't know if that's really serving us well. Not that anything really is serving us well. Just looks like we're really struggling to find a consistent pattern of attack. I don't want us to be predictable, but it seems like we're struggling for this is how we do it. It really does.
I do. So are we back to now we're having to find identity again?
Yes, because I think ultimately they're making it and I've heard everybody say this in various ways, shapes, and forms in post game whatever. They're making it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah. We're trying to be a
They're
little
overcomplicating everything. And I saw that last night with going back to the dreaded hesitation to shoot. They got the ball into dangerous areas and they didn't want to throw it at the net. And you were playing against Rocco Rios Novos. You weren't playing against
Rocco. Rocco, my God. We talked about this. Just let it go at the upper 90. Come on, man. Great save from him. Oh my God. We talked about this.
I know.
Stay out of the cobwebs area. What are you doing? What a hit from Muyamba that was.
That was.
It's interesting with comparing Muyamba and Alexi.
He took that shot, by the way.
I was so thrilled to finally see him take the shot.
It was a great shot too. I'll tell you what.
You just said it. He had the ball in a dangerous area.
It's better than what Alexi has been doing. And when we compare the two. Tom in the Atlanta United messenger chat brought up a point, a little bit of pushback on that take about Muyamba being better lately than Alexi.
Okay.
And he felt that Muyemba had more miscues, more mishits and mistakes than Alexi did last night. And my counter to that, respectfully, Tom, would be that when you take more swings at the bat,
you're going to miss more.
Yeah, he's had 30 to 40% more touches. Like, yes, that's going to happen.
I get what you're saying, Glenn. Yeah.
But the stuff he did he did really well. I'm pleased for Muyemba. So I don't know if that's really a fair criticism of the man. And we've criticized Muyemba in the past, for sure. Yeah. For sure, But anyhow,
we were ready to see him leave the team entirely.
Yeah.
In lieu of Alexi. And at the end of the season last year.
Stephanie from the chat also says that she hopes that as far as Alexi or Chuck, as he's been affectionately called, goes from decent to designated in short order. We hope so. Look, I want him to be good. I want him to be a key cog of this, makes this whole thing go. Excellent. I just don't see it. And I didn't see it from day one because of the type of player he is and because of who we've had in that role before. It didn't make sense from the jump. It's still not making sense.
So let me ask you something. Yeah. Let me just, hypothetically speaking, let's say we find a way to part ways with Alexi.
Sure.
And you move Miggy back to the attacking mid spot.
Yeah, right? Cam, center attacking midfielder,
yeah, whatever you want to call him. And then do you go after a DP right winger to fill that side? Or do you use that DP slot to get a new goalie? Do you where does that DP go?
Oh, we don't use DP for goalie, for keeper. Nobody in this. No, I can't do that. Can't do that. No. We do need somebody because I don't think Cohen's it.
Yeah, St. Louis did that and they almost won the Supporter Shield. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No,
it's a conversation.
I hear you. And for what it's worth, I don't think St. Louis has conceded a goal yet this season, which is wild. I still don't think they've been scoring.
Hey, look, good on SKC because they scored.
Listen, that game.
It took them less than 10 matches to get
not to get off track, but that Sporting Minnesota game, that was crazy.
Wild. That was wild.
I swear to you, if Sporting had somehow summoned up a fourth goal, Peter Vermees would have been handed a 20-year extension on the spot. And when he really needs to go, that club needs to move on from him in a bold new direction. They know nothing else other than Vermees ball. And Vermees knows nothing else other than Sporting, that the two need to, that's a long-term relationship that needs to move on. But anyhow, speaking of moving on, number 5, we played a better second half this time, I think.
I think we played consistently first half through the second half. I think it was about the same the whole match.
Yeah, and it didn't matter.
Nope.
And it didn't matter because we couldn't get all 3 against New York Red Bulls. And because we couldn't get at least a point against Charlotte. This is playing out like previous seasons. Good performances, worthy of points, bad bounces, unlucky officials, whatever. Bounces don't go away. Injuries. We got another one with, it looks like Mascara, stretchered out. Great. Cleek's still out. Great.
Yep.
We're digging ourselves a hole very early in the season.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we, to quote Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber, we're in a hole. We're just going to have to dig ourselves out. I don't know.
Oh, they know I got gas. I
don't know what we do here. I mean, I
think if we were an established team and we had a form of attack and everything was kind of like, okay, well, you can't win them all, then that would be one thing. But that doesn't feel like this.
I'm with Team Santa and we lock them all in a house and tell them to beat each other to a bloody pulp, have a fight club, make some soap. I don't know.
Braid each other's fucking hair. Have a pillow fight.
Whatever the hell you don't like about each other, get the fuck out of your heads with it.
Yeah. One of my favorite, most memorable things that ever brought my team together was we did that we went and we had a big.
We went and had a fight club?
No, we had a team sleepover at my softball team and we watched A League of Their Own. And the next day We all walked out onto the field to "We Are the Members of the All-American League." Anyway, if you know the movie, you know I'm right. So,
yes.
Come out like the fucking Titans in Remember the Titans, okay?
We quacked our way on the ice.
Yeah, that's right. That's fucking right. Whatever
that's
you
got to
do.
That's not even a lie. We actually did that. We skated out there yelling, quack, quack, quack. It was
That's great.
Ducks fly together.
Ducks fly together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Whatever
don't know.
It takes.
But like, something has to give mentally, because none of this is, it's really not talent. And I'm sorry. I expected 4 matches in. I expected more from Miggy, and I expected more from Saba. Yeah. And I expected more from Alexi. But Miggy and Saba, I
agree. Miggy and Saba, those two are going to be so key if they can get it dialed. They are going to be fucking killers. They are going to be fucking killers, man, if they can figure it out. They really will. But if they can't,
this is
we got a big problem.
Wrapping up here, this is what we contemplated.
I tried so hard to be optimistic.
This is what we contemplated back before the start of the season when Miggy was official in the airport, and what a night that was.
Zero doubts.
Amazing, right?
Zero.
But I brought this point up then, and I'll bring it up again. This will be unlike previous seasons where we have struggled and have not met expectations, which is fair to say that all the previous seasons, our expectations for this club are high and they should remain high. This will be different. It will be different because I'm very happy with everything the front office has done. I have no criticisms of any of the moves that have been made with player signings, bringing on Hendo. It's all really good. Arguably, I'm not sure we could do better. So, if we can't get it done now, this will hurt worse because I don't know what else to do.
And that was going to be my last question.
The fall,
if we don't do this.
The fall will be harder now because.
Do we have to break our traditions? Do we have to break from tradition? Do we have to break our own molds?
Yeah, I think we got.
And Jennifer, this is what I was going to say. I was going to circle back to this.
Yep.
Do we got to go out and buy a fucking marquee player?
Yep. I think we got to bring.
It's the one thing we haven't tried.
I think we got to bring Zlatan out of retirement.
There you go.
Oh my God. I am not going to an avocado farm. I'm allergic. We've had this conversation.
It'd be entertaining.
But as much as I would
he would never come here because they won't put grass down in the bends permanently.
No, they won't. But do we have to do that? And if not that, then what else? What's left?
Gosh, I don't know.
What have we not tried?
And I can't even really criticize Garth for this because it's all good stuff. Like,
it's all.
I would have made those signings as well.
Right there on the field.
I would have made all those moves too.
Did you guys get a chance to chat with him at all during Unified Signing Day? Did you get a chance?
No,
he was there.
No.
So I get the impression, because obviously he's not going to tell little old me that, like, I don't know what's wrong with the team, but little old me, I got there. So yeah, what's going on? What's up with this? And the answer I'm getting is well, on paper, on metrics, and this is where, if you want to bring this back to Moneyball and the argument that Art Howe gets into with Brad Pitt, great actor. Sorry, I'm not giving.
That's a great. No, it's a great scene. I know what you're about to say. Keep going.
But he gets in there and said you can't replace the gut feeling of
35 years of experience,
35 years of being around the game and seeing what players are capable of. You can't replace that completely with stats and numbers. I kind of feel like Garth might be Jonah Hill.
A little. Maybe a little. I don't disagree with you.
Too much on paper. Jonah Hill.
Well, certainly in the case of Alexi. Absolutely.
Yeah. That one.
On paper, the guy should have been fantastic here.
Well, I do have a solution for all this.
Go ahead.
If we want to end on this. I do have a solution to fix all of this. Just play it on paper. Just play the game on paper, man. Like, we don't need pitch, all this stuff. You just play it on paper. You give me a paper trophy. It's great. Done.
FIFA. We're going to FIFA.
Hey,
all right,
listen,
break out the PlayStation. Let's go.
Paolo Neto did win EMLS Cup for a second time.
I think we sold our soul to be dominant in EMLS sports.
Yeah. So there's that. Look, I'm genuinely happy for him. Congratulations to him. That's a great thing.
And look, he hadn't actually won anything in a couple of years,
right.
So kudos to you, Paolo Nieto. And
it's a great thing, but it's never going to be the same because with a club that's yours, you're building around this thing. You're building friendships, memories, community around it. And when the club isn't winning, it is a little bit more difficult to build around that because everyone's just kind of down. I mean, you still want to hang out. You still want to be with your friends and the people you love, but it's not the same. And that's why we crave, or at least me, that's why I crave winning because I want those feelings. I want us to be popping off smoke at the tailgate and feeling good. I need that in my life. And unfortunately,
the one thing
it comes from this.
The one thing that I will say that I feel like is a little bit different here than it may be in other bigger clubs is I do feel like, at least from my own interactions with people, that for people that want to say the front office only cares about money.
No.
I don't think so.
Tell you that there's a lot of people, and they're not maybe the people that necessarily are writing all the checks or whatever. There are a lot of people that are really vested in wanting to see this be every expression that it can be.
Yeah.
And that means what happens on the pitch. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are really upset right now with the fact that we are where we are in the standings.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, I don't want all of us to feel like, no one cares. They just want to, there's real genuine care there.
I agree.
Yeah. I think so.
I agree. And
it doesn't feel false. It doesn't feel cheap or cheeky.
No,
it feels
it's painful for them too.
Like at this point in time that we're being pandered to.
No.
At the moment.
I don't feel that way.
That's not to say that there weren't times in the past where we were pandered to.
I don't disagree.
But
fair.
Right now is not one of those moments.
No,
I agree.
I think you're right.
I agree. And I expect Garth and the staff to be transparent if things continue to go south. I don't think that there's no hiding. There's no hiding anymore. This is the best we could do. Garth, all the eggs in the basket. Here we go. And I expect him to own that. And he has said as much. Buck stops with him, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So we'll give it a little bit more time, or at least you two will. I'm already fatalistic. World sky is falling. But that's me.
Well, we don't have a choice. The season continues.
Yeah.
We will see what we will see, and it will be what it will be.
And it will be great if we do make up the points on the road for these dropped home points. And that would be another welcome narrative change. And that will give me a lot of faith that we're doing something different and new.
And look, we're really going into a coin flip this weekend. I don't think anybody can make any kind of predictions about what the hell we're going to watch on Saturday afternoon. So, hey, at least if nothing, and look, I am not that person. I'm not a citizen. I don't expect my team to go in and win every single match and get my panties in a little twist when they lose one match, right? That's not, I'm a realist, but I still, when I spend money, I want to get entertainment value for my dollar. Make it fun to watch. I think Cincinnati's going to be really fun to watch because Lord only knows what the hell's going to show up other than some bad chili.
Well, I hope everybody here has gotten entertainment value out of this past hour and change. It's free, But
and hey, we really do. We appreciate the fact that again, there are multiple ways that you could choose to spend your time looking.
And you have spent it here, and time is the most valuable asset in the world. Thank you for spending it with us. We don't take it lightly or for granted. We really earnestly do appreciate it. We do love doing this, even when the team is struggling. It is good to get together and talk it out. Usually involves talking me off the ledge.
Well, are you still on the ledge, Glenn?
No, I fell.
Okay, cool. Then we did our job.
No, I fell. No, I fell. I'm on the ground. I'm bleeding.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I fell off that.
All right.
Eddie. But y'all can scrape me up off the ground next week with a win in Cincinnati, huh? How about it?
let's go.
All right.
Let's
do
fucking
that.
go.
All right, y'all.
Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us reviews.
Please and thank you.
Engage with us. We love it when we hear from you. So yeah, just your little friendly reminder to smash that like button.
And also, I think that Apple made a change in the podcasting system where they have turned off like the auto downloading feature on podcasts that you're subscribed to. So if we don't pop up in your feed when there's a new episode published, check your settings on Apple Pod. If you're using Apple Pods, if you're using Spotify, I don't think it's an issue, but something worth noting that I've noticed it with a few of the shows that I've been following, that when a new episode is at, it hasn't popped up and I had to go adjust some settings. So you might want to do that. So you know the moment an episode drops, you don't want to be left out of the conversation. Alrighty. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you for going to Mason Mill and supporting FanTV and all the things. Next Saturday, I'm going to be working, so I'm going to have to rewatch the match, and
I'm going to be flying home. I might make.
I
land when right at kickoff.
I don't even think we'll be able to record Sunday, honestly, because there's a Hawks game, and I'm going to have to work that.
No one cares, Glenn.
I'm just saying I won't be able to.
They're going to play in the play-in game.
Yes, we're locked in at 7. We're not going up to 6. We all know where it's at. Believe me. We at State Farm Arena are acutely aware of this team and their capabilities and where they fall. Believe me, everybody from the concession stand to the coaches, we know. Everybody knows. It's a very known thing. But so perhaps we'll try to record maybe next Saturday Monday, night. Or if I get off early on Sunday or something.
What about Saturday night? We could do it Saturday night.
Saturday night, I will still be working. I got a little commercial gig. So it seems kind of unlikely that we'll get it out straight away, but we will get it out at some point. And, hopefully it's something positive to talk about.
Don't worry. You will get your content.
It's coming. Good, bad, win, loss. We will be there. All right, y'all. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll be back in a week's time. Until then, y'all be good. We will be back.
Oh, my name is Glenn. I'm so sad. I'm so happy. Meow.
Do I really sound like that?
So this is what Kat does when Glenn and I talk over Kat, is she makes little paperclip cats to jump off cliffs. And makes them wet.
My name is Glenn. Help me. I'm on a cliff.
No, that's enough.